Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we're diving deep into one of the most electrifying characters in the game, which is Leva. If you love high voltage, setup heavy characters who can turn the battlefield into a lightning storm, then you're going to want to stick around for this one. We'll be breaking down Leva's full skill kit, her unique mechanics, and whether she's worth building in your squad. So buckle up, because this Sentinel class doll is about to shock the meta. By the way, credits to Seiya for the translation of the skills. Okay, now let's go and start. Leva isn't your typical straightforward DPS. She's a control-heavy disruptor that focuses on electric damage, stability damage overflow, and strategic battlefield manipulation. Her power comes from stacking up superconductive code and placing voltage tiles, which set the stage for a devastating superconductive strike. This means she's a slow starter but an absolute monster in a longer fight. But how exactly does her skill kit works? Let's break it all down. Now let's go and talk about the core mechanics of this character. Leva is actually an interesting character. Leva is designed to convert excess stability damage into a electric damage, which means stability break leaves enemies wide open for massive damage. Next core mechanic for this character is the voltage tiles and negative charge. Leva spreads negative charge on enemies and generates voltage tiles. This mechanic triggers chain reaction that enhances her damage and battlefield control. The third core mechanic for this character is that superconductive code and superconductive strike. She gains stacks of superconductive code which fuels her superconductive strike. More stacks equals more power. The attack applies voltage tiles around the target and setting up even more damage to the enemies. Now I welcome you to the skill breakdown. Let's start with her basic attack, which is Dangerous Smile. It's a simple physical damage attack, nothing too special, just something to use when other skills are on cooldown. Okay, the first skill will be Rational Suppression, which is an AoE, tile, and debuff. Leva's first major skill deals AoE electric damage in a targeted direction. It applies negative charge to the enemy and generates voltage tiles. This is her setup skill, making her future attacks even stronger. Next skill will be called Chaos Control, which is an AoE single target damage boost. This ability deals AoE electric damage but has an important bonus. It deals extra damage if the target has negative charge. This means a proper skill sequencing is a key. Hit them with the Rational Suppression first, which is the first skill, then follow up with this skill, which is Chaos Control for amplified damage, which is multiplied damage. Next skill will be Quantum Calculation, which is the ultimate, which is an AoE, tile, and also buff. Leva's ultimate wipes the battlefield with massive electric damage, generates even more voltage tiles, and grants Overclock Strike, which lets her convert stability damage overflow into an electric damage. And it allows her to activate Superconductive Strike for a massive damage. This ultimate is a key to pushing Leva's damage to the next level. Next up will be Superconductive Strike, which is an active skill. This is Leva's big finisher. It consumes all her superconductive code stacks for a devastating melee electric attack, generating voltage tiles around the target for even more synergy. The more stack, the bigger the damage. This is why she is a setup heavy and it requires preparation, but the payoff is huge. It also deals stability damage, making her even more better at breaking enemies. Leva's passive Fox Skim takes her combat potential to another level with powerful self-synergy. It gains superconductive code when triggering voltage tiles or at the turn start, boosts electric damage when she has a positive charge, and launches Y support whenever an enemy gets a negative charge, dealing extra damage and spreading debuffs. If Y support kills, it spreads negative charge again. This chain reaction playstyle means that once she gets going, she just doesn't stop, and her keys further enhance her strengths. First key, a Veteran Poise. At the start of the battle, gains superconductive code and convectance index. This will help Leva for faster ramp up. Next key is called Sly Fox Smile. It increases damage dealt to enemies in stability break, which means more damage against stability broken enemies. The next one will be Opportunist. It cleanses enemy buffs before launching wise support. Next up will be Cloak and Dagger. It gains concealed after using the active skill Superconductive Strike. Okay, so here it is. So it gains concealed, which is stealth, after using Superconductive Strike, which helps her reposition safely. Next up will be Calculated Response. It applies negative charge before an ally attacks, which improves the team synergy. Next one will be Prepared Assault. It starts the battle with Overclock Strike, making her stronger from the beginning. Next up will be Elite Operative. It increases damage dealt to enemy units afflicted with electric debuff. Now let's go and talk about Leva's weapon. Leva's weapon lured the enemy in an excellent match for her kit because it directly enhances her strength. First, it increases her electric damage against enemies with negative charge, which is a core part of her setup. Almost all of her skill either apply or benefit from this debuff. This also means that every attack she lands will deal significantly more damage once her setup is in place. Additionally, the weapon boosts electric damage against stability broken enemies, further reinforcing her role as a breaker unit that punishes weakened foes. Now let's talk about the weapon's trait. So her trait further increases stability damage, which means she can push enemies towards stability break even faster. Against boss units, this stability damage boost is even greater, ensuring she remains effective against tougher enemies that requires sustained pressure to break. This weapon synergizes perfectly with her mechanics, allowing her to ramp up her damage output efficiently while ensuring her playstyle rewards strategic setup and execution. Now let's go and talk about her strength. So basically, Leva's excel in high AoE electric damage output, making her a devastating force in prolonged fights. Her ability to scale over time through superconductive code stacking allows her to hit harder the longer she stays in combat. She is especially powerful against stability broken enemies, taking advantage of their weakened state to deliver massive finishing blows. Her passive skills provide extra attacks and debuffs, increasing her overall damage potential. Additionally, she has the ability to stealth after the superconductive strike, making her harder to target after executing her strongest move. Her weapon skill and trait further enhances her electric damage and stability breaking power, making her one of the best options for disrupting enemy formation. The only thing I see as her weakness is that Leva's biggest drawback is her setup heavy nature. She requires time to build superconductive code and set up voltage tile before unleashing her true damage potential. Okay, so some of you guys might not see the skin. Let's go and take a look. So what do you think about Leva? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching.